Beloved child, stop allowing anxiety about money to suffocate the peace within you. For I am leading you into a new season in which provision will not come only through familiar means, but will also open through roads you have never considered. You have not paused here merely to hear another promise that causes your emotions to rise and then quickly disappear. You are here to receive a profound reminder that you were not born to live forever beneath the weight of scarcity, confusion, and fear of tomorrow. I have seen the nights when you lay still while your mind could not rest, and the times when you calculated every small expense before quietly sighing because you did not know how you would manage. I know what it feels like to postpone a dream because the resources are not yet sufficient. I know the weariness of appearing strong before everyone while inwardly longing for a place upon which to lean. Today, I want you to put those burdens down, not through carelessness or the avoidance of responsibility, but through an awakened faith that recognizes you were never meant to hold the entire world together by yourself. You have lived for too long in a state of constantly preparing for the worst. Whenever an unexpected expense appeared, your heart immediately tightened. Whenever an opportunity came, you questioned whether you had enough ability or resources to enter it. You became accustomed to viewing every dream through the limitations of your present circumstances. And many times you diminished your aspirations before they had the chance to take root. But beloved child, the resources currently in your hands are not the final measure of your future. I can open a road through a new idea, a timely meeting, an unexpected recommendation, a more suitable job, or an ability within you that has remained unused for many years. Provision does not always descend in the form you expect. Sometimes it comes as discernment that helps you avoid a harmful decision. Sometimes it is courage to leave a place that no longer honors your value. At other times, it is the discipline to preserve what is small before something greater can be entrusted to you. Therefore, do not understand abundance merely as possessing a great deal. True abundance also means having enough calmness to make wise decisions, enough health to perform your work, enough time to be present with those you love, and enough freedom not to sell your dignity because you fear scarcity. I do not desire only to fill an account. I want to realign the entire way you understand value, work, and prosperity. If your money increases while fear remains untouched within you, you will still live like someone who possesses nothing. If opportunity comes before you learn how to manage what you receive, a blessing can become pressure. For this reason, before expanding what is in your hands, I am expanding your understanding. I am teaching you to distinguish needs from desires, to invest in what is beneficial, to refuse glamorous invitations that possess no solid foundation, and to set aside part of what you have so that you may strengthen others. I also want you to stop condemning yourself for your past financial mistakes. Perhaps you trusted the wrong person, spent money because of emotion, missed an opportunity, or made a decision that required a long time to correct. Those things are not a sentence upon your future. You can learn again, rebuild, and begin managing your life with new maturity. I do not see you through your debts, your failures, or the numbers that once caused you shame. I see someone learning how to rise, someone capable of becoming wiser through every fall. Forgive yourself, but do not use forgiveness as permission to repeat old patterns. Look honestly at reality. Write down what must change seek trustworthy counsel, and take each small step with perseverance. Do not wait for an extraordinary sign before you begin to act. Great transformation is often constructed through humble choices that no one else sees. Complete the work already before you with devotion. Learn what is necessary for the road you desire to walk. Revise your resume. Submit the proposal. Begin the project you postponed. Or speak proactively with someone who possesses experience. If you have only a small amount of money, manage it as though you were preparing to receive something greater. If you are in debt, face it with a clear plan instead of avoidance. If your current income is insufficient, ask for wisdom and then seek ways to increase the value you can offer. I will lead you, but my guidance often meets you while you are walking rather than while you remain seated in despair, waiting for everything to change on its own. Some doors will open because you prepared beforehand. Certain people will recognize the ability within you after you stop diminishing yourself. Opportunities that once passed by may return in a more mature form, and this time you will know how to recognize them. Yet remember that not every offer bringing money is good. Do not exchange peace for quick profit. Do not enter an agreement merely because you are afraid it may be your final opportunity. What is truly suitable will not require you to betray your values, deceive others, or live in panic. I do not lead you toward prosperity by a road that causes you to lose yourself. Be patient enough to verify. Read carefully. Ask clear questions. And listen to the inner warning when something appears too good to be true. The provision prepared for you may also come through things that do not resemble money. A mentor may help you avoid years of moving in the wrong direction. A new skill may open a source of income that you cannot presently see. Healing within your heart may end the habit of purchasing things to fill an emotional emptiness. A proper boundary may prevent others from continuing to exploit your kindness. An honest family conversation may help everyone rearrange responsibilities together. Do not overlook these quiet forms of provision. Not everything valuable appears as a number. Often, I transform the way you think before changing your circumstances, because a renewed mind will help you preserve what new circumstances bring. I know you have prayed for a great turning point, but that turning point is not intended merely to free you from present pressure. I want what you receive to become a source of life for a greater purpose. When you have enough, you will no longer need to refuse opportunities to serve because you fear scarcity. When you become stable, you can strengthen your family, assist someone in difficulty, and build things that create lasting value. Abundance in the hands of a loving heart can become refreshing water for many people. Therefore, allow your difficult years to teach you compassion rather than bitterness. When you become able to help others, do not forget what it felt like to need help yourself. What I give you is not meant to build a wall of pride around you, but to transform you into a doorway of kindness. At this moment, release the belief that your future depends entirely upon working until you collapse. Diligence has value, but ceaseless striving is not proof of faith or dignity. You need rest in order to preserve clarity. You need to care for your health so that you can walk a long road. And you need time for stillness so that work does not become your master. I do not want you to earn more while losing your family, joy, and peace. Build a balanced life in which work serves your purpose instead of consuming you. Sustainable prosperity does not leave you constantly trembling that everything will collapse. It creates order, gratitude, and the freedom to live according to what is good. My child, the new season begins at the moment when you stop identifying yourself with scarcity. You may not yet see the entire road, but begin with what is presently in your hands. Trust me while also walking in wisdom. Ask for guidance while also searching actively. Open yourself to receive while also managing carefully. Difficult days are not the final chapter of your life, but they will become meaningful when you use their lessons to construct a stronger future. I am leading you out of fear, not into a vague dream, but into a life filled with responsibility, purpose, and hope. Lift your head, do the next right thing, and trust that every faithful step today is opening the road toward tomorrow's sufficiency. I remain with you, protecting your heart from despair, illuminating your decisions, and bringing the appropriate resources at the proper time, so that you will not only be provided for, but will also become someone who gives peace and hope to the world around you. God has never left you. He has continually spoken through the things you believed were merely obstacles, through prolonged tension, closed doors, and even the moments when others turned away. I want you to understand that not every loss means you have been forgotten, and not every failure means that you have chosen a completely wrong direction. Sometimes a job does not succeed, a plan is delayed, or a relationship ends not to punish you, but to prevent you from continuing to build your life upon a foundation that is no longer suitable. What you called rejection may sometimes have been protection. The empty spaces that disturbed you may be the very places where the genuine call can be heard most clearly. He has touched you in many ways, but because those ways did not resemble what you expected, you failed to recognize the hand leading you home. There were days when you asked for a very clear sign, but when the answer came through uneasiness within your heart, you tried to silence it. There were times when you knew a door was not meant for you. Yet, because you feared beginning again, you continued knocking. Certain people left you and caused deep pain, yet their departure also exposed how much of your value you had placed in their approval. The Father does not delight in watching you suffer, but He loves you too deeply to allow you to continue sleeping within something that is weakening you. He is not pushing you away. He is pursuing you through every interruption, every moment when you can no longer continue living as before, and every quiet call that returns even after you have attempted to avoid it. This is not cold anger, but steadfast love, refusing to watch you lose your direction. However, you must also understand that divine patience is not an invitation to delay forever. This is not because the Father will cease loving you, but because every choice produces consequences. When you continually ignore what you know is right, your heart gradually becomes hardened against the very voice that once moved you. When you postpone a step of obedience, you may miss the favorable time He prepared. A door opened in this season will not necessarily remain in exactly the same position in every future season. The Father's timing is not designed to place unreasonable pressure upon you, but to keep everything within good order. He knows when you must move, when you must stop, when you must release, and when you must courageously hold on. Therefore, prolonged delay does not merely keep you still, it can carry you deeper into a direction that never belonged to you. Look at the story of King Saul to understand the danger of hearing without truly responding. He was chosen, given authority, and placed in a position many people desired. Yet little by little, He began placing his own reasoning above guidance. He did not completely turn away in one moment. His deviation occurred through small adjustments, decisions that seemed justifiable, and incomplete obedience. He believed that outward rituals could cover an inward lack of surrender. But the Father has never sought only outward appearances. A person can stand in a place of worship while their heart remains far away. Someone may speak beautiful words while still avoiding what they have been asked to change. Saul's crown remained upon his head for a time, but his inner stability began to depart when he stopped listening with humility. I do not say this to make you fear that one mistake will cause every good thing to disappear. The Father is more merciful than you can understand, and He always opens a road for sincere return. But I want you to stop treating delayed obedience as though it has no cost. There are things you already know you must do, an apology that needs to be spoken, a habit that must end, a boundary that needs to be established, a responsibility that must be completed, or a door that needs to be closed. You have asked for additional signs while the first instruction remains unfulfilled before you. You do not need another message while you continue avoiding the truth already placed clearly within your heart. What is necessary now is not a stronger emotion, but a more sincere step. Some people attempt to replace closeness with the Father through a schedule filled with activities that appear good. They remain busy serving, attend faithfully, and speak words that sound full of faith. Yet they no longer sit quietly long enough to be examined and transformed. You may also have fallen into this without realizing it. You complete many tasks, care for many people, and try to do what is right. Yet inwardly, you remain weary and distant. You speak to the Father about problems that need to be solved, but rarely ask what within you needs to be healed. You ask Him to open a door, but do not ask whether you are ready to walk through it. You want Him to change your circumstances while He is gently touching the way you think. Respond and choose. For many months, perhaps you have continued praying, but your prayers have become little more than lists of matters requiring attention. You ask for help with finances, family, work, and a succession of worries. But you have not truly sat down to speak what is deepest within your heart. You have not confessed that you are disappointed, angry, and so tired that you no longer want to hope. You hide your tears because you believe you must always appear strong. But the Father does not need an edited version of you. He does not want you to bring only perfectly arranged words. He wants honesty. He wants you to say that you are afraid, confused, wounded, and uncertain how to move forward. It is precisely where pretending ends that a genuine relationship begins to be restored. The Father does not merely want to repair the fractured parts of your life like a worker who completes a task and then departs. He wants to walk with you as a Father who knows every worry, every dream, and every room you have not yet dared to open. He is not concerned only with the final result. He cares about the person you are becoming throughout the journey. If every problem was solved while you continued living at a distance, remaining afraid and unable to rest in love, outward change could never bring enduring peace. Therefore, He is inviting you deeper than a request being answered. He is inviting you into closeness, where you do not merely seek the hand that blesses, but also long for the heart of the one who loves you. Beloved child, the heavens are not waiting for your performance. What is being awaited is your honest answer. You do not need to prove that you are good enough. You only need to stop running. Stop making excuses. And give your full attention to the call sounding within you. Turn down the noise. Lay aside what can wait. And enter the quiet space you have postponed for too long. Speak truthfully and remain long enough to listen. You may not hear an audible voice, but clarity will gradually appear. Something that once confused you will become simpler. A decision you repeatedly avoided will emerge with deep peace. A burden you believed you had to carry forever will begin to grow lighter when you return it. I am reminding you that you have not gone too far. Your mistakes have not locked the door. Delay has not erased love. And months of silence have not turned you into a stranger. Yet do not use mercy as a pillow upon which to continue sleeping. Allow mercy to become the strength that helps you rise. The Father is still calling you, not through condemnation, but through the seriousness of a love that understands what is at stake. You do not need to wait until tomorrow for another sign or for a more perfect time. Returning begins the moment you turn your heart and say, I am here. I am listening. From that moment, what was delayed can begin to move. Closeness that had grown cold can be rekindled, and the road ahead will gradually become brighter beneath every small but sincere step of obedience. You are being invited to confirm that you are ready to enter a new season of provision with awakened faith rather than fear or superstition. If these words are touching a deep place within you, let your response begin with a sincere decision. You will no longer agree with a mentality of scarcity. No longer allow the past to define the limits of your future. And no longer remain outside the door because you fear you are not worthy enough. Writing down a number does not create a miracle by itself, but what you choose to believe, the way you live, and the direction in which you set your heart can become a marker of a new beginning. If you wish to use the number 777 as a symbol reminding you of completeness, grace, and your commitment to walk in trust, do so with understanding. Do not treat it like a mystical key that forces heaven to act. Let it remind you that you have chosen to leave the cycle of doubt and begin cooperating with the goodness being built within your life. I do not need you to prove your faith through a comment, an outward sign, or an attention-seeking action. What I seek is genuine agreement within your heart. When you say, I am ready, let those words be followed by the way you manage what you have. Heal what has been fractured. Complete what was abandoned, and courageously enter new responsibility. Faith is not a magnet, causing every desire automatically to fly toward you without wisdom or effort. Faith is the strength that helps you act rightly, even when you cannot yet see the complete result. It keeps you from panicking when the numbers before you have not changed. It helps you continue sowing while the harvest remains ahead. And it reminds you that your value does not rise or fall according to an account balance, reputation, or the approval of others. Therefore, if you write down a symbol of hope, let the life you live afterward become a more powerful confirmation than any symbol. Continue moving forward, because the provision I am preparing is not merely intended to help you overcome a few temporary needs. I am teaching you to become someone who can carry great responsibility while preserving peace. Receive more without losing humility, and give generously without draining yourself. What I place in your hands will always be connected to a purpose greater than personal comfort. Perhaps you will use those resources to support a family in difficulty. Develop work that creates opportunities for others. strengthen those serving the community, or build something that continues producing value many years from now. I am not expanding you merely so that you may possess more. I am expanding you so that your ability to love, create, lead, and serve may also increase. True provision is never incomplete, but you must understand that my fullness does not always appear in the luxurious form praised by the world. Sometimes I give you money at precisely the right time, but at other times I give you discernment to avoid a decision that would cause great loss. Sometimes I open a new opportunity, while at other times I close a road that is quietly consuming your future. Provision may come through a trustworthy person carrying advice, a useful connection, or knowledge you lack. It may also appear as restored health, peace returning to your household, restful sleep after months of anxiety, or courage to leave what has kept you limited. Do not look for miracles only where there is applause. Much of the greatest help arrives quietly and is recognized only when you look back. Remember the people of Israel passing through the wilderness. Their needs were not answered by an enormous storehouse appearing on the first day, but through regular provision sufficient for each stage of the journey. Through this, they had to learn daily trust, to stop hoarding because of fear, and to recognize that the one leading them knew what they needed. It may be the same with you. Perhaps I have not shown you all the resources of the years ahead because what you need today is enough light for today's step. Consistent provision is no less sacred than a spectacular event. Stable work, a faithful client, an improved skill, a debt gradually being settled, or a healthy financial plan can all become streams I lead into your life. Do not neglect what is small while waiting for what is great, because the way you care for what is small reveals how prepared you are. I know you have experienced failures that caused your heart to waver. Some plans that seemed certain suddenly collapsed. People who promised to remain beside you departed. Opportunities for which you had prepared over a long time were eventually given to someone else. At times, you felt that every door had closed at once, as though an invisible force continually pushed you backward. But hear me, not every delay is defeat, and not every loss means you have been deprived of your future. Some things must leave because they cannot accompany you into the new season. Some plans collapse because their foundations are not strong enough. At times, you are stopped to prevent you from entering a place that would wound you more deeply. What once disappointed you may have been protection that you will understand only when time brings everything into clarity. The enemy enjoys using delay to convince you that you have been forgotten. It repeats mocking words, magnifies every failure, and causes you to view the future through the lens of fear. It wants you to believe that those who doubted you were correct, that you are incapable of recovery, and that your best years have passed. But the power of a lie continues only while you agree with it. I am clearing the road, not by removing every challenge, but by giving you discernment so that you no longer enter old traps. Strength to move through opposition, and steadfastness to complete what has been entrusted to you. Weapons formed through fear, rejection, and judgment cannot determine the final result unless you surrender authority over your life to them. Do not transform your future success into a performance for those who once looked down upon you. I understand the pain of being mocked during difficult days and the desire to prove that others were wrong. But if your primary motivation is to astonish them, you are still allowing them to control your direction. Blessing is not an instrument of revenge. Your growth does not need to become an insult directed at anyone. Allow good results to speak with humility. When others see you restored, they should not see only your achievements. They should recognize someone who has become more generous, peaceful, and responsible in the use of what they possess. That is a victory no one can take from you. Your story can become a testimony, but not because you never stumbled. It will carry power because you rose without allowing bitterness to transform you into someone else. People will see that you once experienced scarcity, but refused to allow scarcity to destroy your kindness, that you were rejected, but did not use new authority to diminish those who were weaker, and that you confronted darkness while still choosing to become light. Provision in your life will possess its greatest meaning when it produces healing rather than admiration, creates opportunities rather than merely numbers, and leaves a legacy rather than only an image of success. Therefore, move forward with expectation, but also with your feet firmly planted in truth. Pray, and then make a plan. Trust, and then diligently perform the work that belongs to you. Be generous, but preserve wise boundaries. Receive opportunities, but test them through peace, integrity, and long-term results. I do not want you to be swept away by glamorous promises that lead to impulsive action. True guidance does not remove your ability to reason, it makes you clearer. Each day, ask what you can do to prepare your vessel. Learn another skill. Correct a habit. Fulfill a commitment. Save a small amount. Or open yourself to healthy cooperation. My child, what is coming is not merely one moment that leaves you speechless. It may be an entire process through which your life is rebuilt upon a stable foundation. Do not despise the process because it is slower than you desire. A blessing intended to remain requires a foundation deep enough to support it. I am building within you the ability to receive without fear, manage without greed, and give without seeking attention. Let the sign you choose today remind you of that commitment. You are no longer chasing miracles in panic. You are preparing to receive goodness with maturity. Walk in peace, because your road is becoming clearer. What once obstructed you is gradually losing its authority, and your renewed life will become evidence that genuine provision does not merely place something in your hands, but also transforms you into someone who knows how to use it for a purpose greater than yourself.